So Angela seemed to be rather upset that I did not stand up for her on your marriage story that you told earlier, which is not my fault. That's not my. It's not my. I should not be ashamed of that. That's not my responsibility. What you said was inaccurate, but it's a little too late for that, I guess.
Hey everybody, thanks. Welcome back. My buddy Will apologizes to my wife Angela. He feels ashamed.
Clearly.
Let's go over the Oscar results now that we have watched it. Give a little recap of everything. Let's see how the mighty Die / Dice on Best Picture did against the movie man Bill Kuros there. Let's start with short film animated Hair Love.
Got that right.
Hair Love, short film.
Yeah, short film.
Sister.
I had The Neighbor's Window, which did win, so I got that.
Documentary short. I had In the Absence.
Learning to skateboard in a war zone if you're a girl. I got that one right as well. So I was 3 for 3 starting off there.
Visual effects. This was a long shot for me, but the Die had The Irishman.
I had Avengers Endgame, but they gave that to 1917, which I'm not upset about that or anything. I mean, I just recently watched some behind the scenes stuff on Avengers and the work that they put into that, so that was kind of fresh on my mind, I think. But I thought it was just a good pick, but didn't end up being the right one.
Well, you should get visual effects. Like anybody worth their salt as movie man should get visual effects.
Angela asked me if I thought Star Wars would have won. I didn't think it was the best out of those. It had amazing special effects, but I didn't think it was the best one for that either.
Fair. Okay, fair. Film editing. Unfortunately, the only thing Parasite did not win for, which my Die had predicted.
I went with Ford v Ferrari on that one, so I got that one correct.
Production design, the Die said 1917.
I also went with 1917 on my pick, but they gave that one to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So far 2 wrong for you, about the same. We're neck and neck at this point. I might just be a little bit off, but we'll see at the total tally here at the end. Cinematography, the Die had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That was one of my locks for the night, which was 1917, Roger Deakins. So that was
Roger Deakins.
That's who got that one.
Frickin' Roger. And then costume design, it felt good about Jojo Rabbit that the Die had predicted. Unfortunately, that did not win.
And then, if you go with those older period piece movies, I think you're going to get a pretty good chance of winning. And I went with Little Women, and that's who ended up winning.
I thought that was like voted for the first 3 times that it was out the past decade, but maybe not. Makeup and hairstyling. The Die predicted Bombshell.
And I went with Bombshell as well, and that's what ended up winning.
Again, neck and neck. You see that we're almost synonymous, the Die and the Expert. Sound mixing, 1917.
I also elected 1917, and that's who ended up winning.
Oh, no, excuse me. I picked the winner.
Yeah.
I said the winner. The Die had Ford v Ferrari for sound mixing.
Okay.
Which we did not get right. Sound editing. The Die had gone with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I went with 1917. That was actually my second choice, but I stick with what I went with. And my first choice was originally Ford v Ferrari, which is what ended up winning. So neither of us got that one right.
Oh, did you go with your second choice? But that's either here or
second guessing. I mean, that's going to hit me hard here later on, too, in this list. I got burned on the actress category. I'll tell that more in a second.
TBD, to come later. Original song, the Die went with I'm Standing With You. From the movie Breakthrough, how that did not win. Travesty.
Clearly a travesty. I went with what was going to win, which was I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man.
Angela wants everybody to know that her favorite song of the night was "Stand Up" by from Harriet, excuse me. Great, that actually was a very good song. Had the gospel and everything. It was missing everything but yay, but that's all right. It was great. It was great. Original score. The Die said the Joker on that one.
I went with Joker as well, and I was glad to see her win. Hildur was great. I thought that was a great score. I'm a big score guy. That's all I listen to.
Yes.
Much to his chagrin whenever I have to give him a ride home sometimes, and he has to listen to music scores.
On the way back from Scottsdale, it's always music scores. That's always good. Personal Uber, we will take that. International feature film.
That was the other lock of the night. What did the Die go on that one?
Regrettably, the Die went with Les Miserables.
Yeah, I went with Parasite, which was the winner, as it should have been.
I blame Hugh Jackman, but that's neither here nor there. Documentary feature. The Die went with The Edge of Democracy.
I went with Honeyland, which did not win. American Factory won. And
Honeyland was
that's what I was kind of lost on. Honeyland was nominated for Best International Feature Film, but didn't win its own documentary feature category, which I don't get. That's like when you're nominated for best internet, or back in the day it
That would
was
be
foreign
like-
film,
Yes.
and you're nominated for best picture and you don't win foreign film, or when you said
be like
earlier
Beauty and the
when
Beast
Beauty and the
not
Beast was
winning Best
nominated for
Animated.
animated, but it didn't. Yeah, best picture. It's ridiculous. I couldn't believe that lost, even though I've never seen it. Just FYI, I've never seen that movie. I'm just talking right now.
Speaking of animated feature, both The Die and I believe your Predictive Brain.
Yeah,
with
Toy Story 4,
We
yeah.
got that one. I think that's like my fourth right one only.
Yeah.
Adapted screenplay. Die went with the Joker.
I went with Jojo Rabbit, and that's what won, so that's good.
Original screenplay. The Die had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
A good
Guilty
choice
Sorry.
from the Die, but
Yes.
I went with Parasite on the off chance that it did pull that out, and it did. And so, yeah, Parasite got me the win on that one.
I feel that any of your Parasite predictions should not count since you did not know that our boy Boone was the.
I
director
just
of
forgot.
Snowpiercer.
I just forgot that he was director of Snowpiercer. I didn't. I mean, it's a long time since that movie came out.
Actor in a supporting role. The Die went with Anthony. I don't mean to laugh.
I mean, these,
great.
like I
All
said,
of
these were all
great,
fine.
but, yeah, so Anthony
And as
Hopkins
I
and the
thought,
two
Brad
votes.
Pitt got his deserved win on that one. It was the
Brad-
first win. It was the first award of the night
Yes.
too. So that was the opening.
Brad deserved it.
Yeah.
My wife, lovely wife, Angela Brad, she says that she absolutely loves you as always. Just maybe a little bit shorter on the hair. Although she says that to my son as well, or to our son as well.
Is Brad
And,
watching this?
Well, of course. And our son's hair is long and lovely, just like yours. So you keep it however you like. Good job on that
Looking in the
one.
mirror.
And I love that way to ride your coattails because that's just pretty awesome. But okay, actress in supporting role. The Die went with the good old Kathy Bates in Richard Jewell.
So the actress categories were the beginning of the end for me tonight. On these categories, I honestly went with, against my better judgment, I went with people that I wanted to win instead of who I thought would win. And I had heard Laura Dern was the front runner on this, but I went with Florence Pugh because I really like her and I think she's great. That's who I went with. She did not win. Laura Dern did win. Is that what the Die
yes.
do?
Well, the Die on that one went with Richard Jewell.
Oh,
and
that's
Kathy
right,
Bates.
Kathy Bates,
But,
so no good.
Laura Dern, fantastic speech. My wife was so moved by it, especially the tribute to your mother, because that really hit home with her. And so excellent, and congratulations to you. We have now the actor in a leading role. The Die went with Antonio Banderas, and I'm sorry for earlier when I said, oh, it's like Spain, because what other part of Spain would there be? But you'll learn my idiocy is without limits in very short order. So The Die went with Antonio, and
I went with Joaquin Phoenix, who he wasn't a lock for me, but I was pretty sure he was going to win, so I wasn't too surprised by that. Personal opinion, however you want to view acceptance speeches, is that an opportunity to make a big to-do or a big speech? Some people yes, some people no. Sometimes when things are too preachy, I'm not a huge fan of it. His acceptance speech was fine. It got very touching at the end when he quoted his brother who had passed away many years ago, of course. So that part of it was nice.
didn't find it preachy, found that it was just somebody being honest and spreading love, and I'm always about that. And also, like, acknowledging one's own shortcomings,
Yeah.
I thought was very, like, hey, you know,
Like,
like,
as- yeah,
I'm not above
the-
it. Because,
yeah.
like, halfway through it, as I was listening to it, I was like, it's very easy to be on the soapbox and say things that you really believe in, but to which we are all hypocrites. But to acknowledge it in a very human way of being like, well, yes, I've been this, and I know that, and I'm trying to be better. So kudos to that,
Yeah.
and that's really like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I like that. So yes, I agree with that. If you have the opportunity,
I think the
great.
crowd did kind of originally kind of view it the way I did, where it might have been preachy at the beginning, because there were a lot of times when people were reacting and applauding or kind of doing what they were doing, and he would kind of hush the crowd. And when you let him finish, his full train of thought was actually really good. I did applaud him by the end of it. He was kind of commenting on hypocrisy a little bit and second chances and things like that by the end of it. But yeah, at the beginning, I didn't really know, like, is he just about to just harp on a bunch of stuff or what's he about to do? But all in all, it was a great speech. I just thought it was a little preachy at the beginning.
Joaquin, I didn't doubt you for a moment. My friend.
Again, Joaquin
thank you.
watches
Yes,
this
yes,
as well.
thank you.
I'm 100% sure.
Another one of our sponsors of the Salazar Household Modelo would like to thank us for their patronage. You are very welcome. Okay, getting into here we go. again.
Actress, here's another burn for me.
yes.
Yeah. Actress in a leading role. Again, I went with someone that I wanted to win, especially since I just watched the movie last night. But again, I had heard that the lead or the kind of front runner on that one was Renee Zellweger for Judy.
You got the inside scoop.
No, just like when you hear like award
I
show
know,
talk and
but-
stuff like that for the other award shows that take place before the
Okay.
Oscars. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, because me and all my insight with all my tight Hollywood people.
Right.
No.
Well, if as many famous people watch your
exactly,
cast as do this,
but yeah.
the Die had predicted Charlize Theron in Bombshell,
Yeah.
which wow, I mean,
Did
you
not
talk about like
happen,
spitting
yeah.
image as far as just her and Megyn Kelly, which because I've not seen the movie yet, that's definitely on the to watch list. And then of course that brings us into directing, which the Die helped me again, one of the very few that I got correct, and not your downfall because you did great, but we kind of saw the momentum and everything building. So, of course, it's our boy Bong with Parasite.
Yeah, Parasite, this is where Parasite got me. I mean, aside from the two actress categories, Parasite got me at the end with its sheer momentum. I really thought 1917 was going to take the last two awards of the night, so I had picked Sam Mendes as Best Director.
Rightfully so. He had won everything up to that point,
He had
and not to say that he didn't deserve it or that anybody deserved it more on these, which I always like when I opine on that, like who deserved it and who didn't with all of my movie-going expertise. I am a AMC Stubbs. I sponsor them as well. That probably helps. I believe I have a Cinemark pass or something like that of that nature. So, I believe I have some clout.
But yeah, I mean, Sam Mendes had won a few things, DGA, BAFTA, Golden Globe. I really thought he was going to win that, and he didn't. Which is fine. Bong Joon did a great job directing, and also out of all the new people for this year's like best moments or whatever, his was probably my favorite. He was up there 4 times essentially for acceptance speeches, and
The director one.
And for the directing one, yeah, he did great. He quoted Martin Scorsese, which I didn't realize that at first, but then I was kind of like, is he quoting somebody that's in the crowd? And sure enough, it was. And Marty got a little. You could tell he was kind of. Touched by that. The crowd obviously did the standing ovation for that,
Yeah,
and
that was
everything.
cool.
That was great. So that was really good. That was probably my favorite moment out of all the moments in there.
Which then, of course, leads up to Best Picture. The
Yeah.
dice, we need our 2 dice for that, had projected Marriage Story. You had 1917,
I had 1917, which personally, it's personally still my favorite picture of the year. Parasite, again, with that momentum, just came through. But I mean, that's hard because it's the first time a foreign film / international feature film, which is what they changed it to this year. It's the first time that's ever happened. No foreign film has ever won Best
Last
Picture.
year was they've been nominated for, including last year, which was the
international. Like I said, it used to be called foreign film. It's the first time they called it international feature, whatever you want to say it as right now. But international feature. This is the first time that it had won. But yes, they had been nominated in the past. I mean, I remember. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was nominated back in 2000 or 2001. I think it was 2000 or something like that. But so yeah, it has happened before, but this is the first time it had actually won. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, Best Picture this year was really strong. I thought that most of these movies had a lot of general audience appeal too. A lot of years people complain about the Oscars and how the movies that are nominated for Best Picture, no one goes and sees them.
No,
but you had a lot of. You had 2 Netflix movies that anybody could have watched at home, and then you had several movies here that were things that a lot of people went and saw. You got a Quentin Tarantino movie that a lot of people are going to go see. You got Ford v Ferrari, which I know a lot of people saw. Joker did well when it came out. So I mean, all these movies were good, crowd-pleasing movies, I think. So I think it was a good year overall for the Oscars.
I think the no host they've really worked out by giving some people some good parts. The bit with Chris Rock and
Steve Martin at the beginning.
Was
Yeah, that was
really
funny bringing them out.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff
Marriage Story
Bezos,
is a comedy.
Jeff Bezos losing, getting divorced and still being the richest man in the world. Yeah, good jokes there.
And then Maya Rudolph and Kristen
Wiig. Yeah, they were
very
great.
good. I mean, that was fun.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, bringing out the comedians, of course, helps.
Yes.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus and Will Ferrell's bit with the cinematography was good.
That was very good.
I mean, as usual, the show ran long. I think it was like 4.5 hours. I think something like that.
Well, I mean, our recording
when we were watching it
at 3.5 hours.
Yeah, 3.5. Okay.
3:35 or 3:32 or something. So yes.
I did like the Frozen when they had all the Elsas come out. When they had all the Elsas come out, that was cool. I'm very movie focused at the Oscars. I know that there's obviously songs and things, but when you're talking about like the length of the show, I'm always just like, I would rather you just do like a medley that has like featured elements of all the nominated songs and do one routine that showcases all those songs to kind of shorten up the time instead of having individual songs for each one. It just drags out the show. That being said, on top of that, you have Eminem coming in, great song from 8 Mile. I love that song.
Did they say why they did it?
I haven't read yet. I mean, I haven't taken the time to look online as to what the
happy
reason
they
for
did
that
that.
is. I'm
Yeah.
glad that he was there, I guess. But 18 years later, since that movie came out and he didn't perform it at the Oscars back in 2002 or 2003 or whatever, you're just tacking on more time onto an already long show at that point. So they're always like looking for ways to shorten up the show.
Probably 18 Mile just
Yeah,
to commemorate
exactly,
the movie title
yeah.
was what I would guess probably.
So, yeah, I mean, they always want to nitpick how long the Oscars take, and then they always just add things in there that don't necessarily need to be there.
They let everybody do their speeches, which was cool because
Yes.
you didn't really, nobody really went on too long, and it's their moment, and it's cool like to let them have it because nobody really said anything that was too far to line or anything.
Yeah. I mean, the only people that got really long-winded were Joaquin Phoenix's was long-winded, and then Renee Zellweger's was really long-winded too. And then they tried to cut off the Best Picture. I mean, they had all those people up there for Best Picture, and it was just amazing that Parasite won. And then they're trying to dim the lights and cut them off. I'm like, guys, this show's already like a million years long. Just give them the extra couple minutes and just finish this off. What does it matter at this point?
I blame Pyongyang, but that's just my.
I don't want to get political.
Yes, I really like Spike Lee, the 2-4.
Yeah, the Kobe
Mamba represent,
Tux
and
was
thank
nice.
you for
Yeah,
that. So yeah, that was cool.
In Memoriam. Yeah, I mean, always sad, but also great to like remember people that
Yes.
contributed so much that are gone. I mean,
And to be of the age now where you know more people than not,
Yeah.
and that kind of is like with your own mortality, but it's still kind of cool, you know,
Yeah.
because I remember watching things. I remember one time with your mom, and she like every person was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, "Oh wow!"
Yeah.
And you and I are like, "Who is that? Who is that?" And now it's like, "I know him, I know her," and it's cool because these are people now that we've had the fortune to grow up with, and if the name is on there, then we've
Yeah.
seen a lot that he or
and
she
I
has
figured
been.
they would wrap it up with Kirk Douglas. I mean, legend of cinema himself, did so many amazing things, especially with getting past the Blacklist back in the Spartacus days with Dalton Trumbo. It was great,
Yeah.
and I mean, I
Well,
figured
like,
he
he
was
was
going to be
great
the one
in
that would
the
wrap it
Stars.
up. So yeah,
Stars episodes of it, but yes. So, but anyway, so so the dice, the die got 19 wrong, 5 correct. Movie Man Will got.
I got 16 correct and 8 wrong.
That's not bad. So you do know more than a roll of the die.
Yes, a random
And,
roll of the die was unable to defeat
yeah.
me, which was nice. I could have done better, but that's
But
all
hey,
right.
well, hey, man, appreciate it. It was good, and good job. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, no
We'll see you
problem. Yeah,
before.
of course. Thanks.
All right.